Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today for this very special preview of the Emma Awards. I can't believe it. We're here. Claire, it's right around the corner, Claire.
I know. Oh, my goodness. I haven't even got a dress yet, so goodness knows.
Neither do I. Claire, this is incredible. Yes, no, we have Claire Tennant-Scull here from FEM. We have Jackson Passage and Suzie Chapman and Mary Corrales and William Taylor, fashionably on time as usual. William, do you have your dress yet for the Emmas?
I always have a dress ready for the Emma. I have a dress I pull out. It's the dress I wear every year. I only wear it once a year, actually.
Well, it's always memorable. And Claire, there's a theme this year for the Emmas because everyone, listen, it's all about how smart people are, and it's all about the accomplishments, and it's all about, recognizing the hard work that we all do. But listen, I show up for the outfits. Okay, Claire. All right. Yeah. I'm here for the fits. Okay.
Yeah.
Claire, what is the theme this year?
Well, it was suggested by the one and only Doris Kampf, actually. And I love it. It's old Hollywood glamour. So that lends itself to just about anything. I mean, you could turn up as Chewbacca if you wanted to, but I think, I think it's a really lovely theme to go with. And, we did Masquerade Ball last year, which I was it was a little bit eyes wide shut, I think, in the end. And
it added some drama.
Yeah, it was a little bit funny. And the year before we did the 1920s theme and everybody embraced it. We don't do it in any of the other regions. We only do it in America. But for some reason, you all seem to like it. And I think it's fun to do.
That's just a lot more fun than anywhere else. Let's be fair.
Yeah. So yes. And we have a best dressed table competition every year. So, we put a bit of peer pressure on everyone. So whoever gets the best table, I think they get a couple of bottles of champagne for the table, and all the glory, of course, too. So yeah, it's just fun, isn't it?
So we'll get in the comments, everyone here. Let us know what you'll be wearing for this old Hollywood glamour theme. And let's make sure everyone is attending, by the way. Note there's a QR code over here. There's a QR code. So go ahead and scan that and make sure to register. If you haven't already registered for the FEM Americas Summit in Houston, May 12th through the 13th, I may or may not be wearing a fancy hat. Claire, can I wear a fancy hat to this?
You can wear whatever you like, Ben. Of course you can.
Oh, yes. Careful.
I have.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a top hat that I have just for this occasion.
I love a top hat. Yes, I think so.
Proper top hat. Yeah, look, and we
have a set of tails as well.
I don't have any tails. I have a large tail, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's permanent. And Anandita Chaudhary here. Wow, what a superb panel! Can't wait to attend and learn. Yes, Anandita, it's good to see you here. Jen Citro, hello from New Jersey. Hi, Mary. Got all the shout outs here. Elena, hi, Mary. We got two Mary shout outs here. Yeah, really. Mary could probably carry her own episode. Daisy, so excited for FEM in Houston. Hello from Glomo HQ. I need to go shopping for my dress. Yeah. Okay. So you can't expense that, Daisy. Just remember that. Hey, from Houston. Hi, Mary. Another Mary. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, Mary, I'm going to go to you first, Mary. I'm going to ask you, since you seem to be, the belle of the ball here, what is your fondest FEM Emma's memory?
So we were chatting about this a little bit beforehand, but I have been up for the Mobility Person of the Year for a few times and didn't win it. And one of the years, the person who did win, her name was Marie. And so they started to say like the beginning half of the name. And then I realized that it was Marie, and we were all so happy and excited, and we were really pumped for her. But I thought, man, like you can't get, it's like getting like nominated. Like getting nominated is really that's half the battle. It felt good just to be nominated, and that's all I needed.
Did you do like the half stand thing?
No,
okay.
Yeah. No, thank God. Yeah.
No. Well, I feel good. I feel good for you, Mary. Mary, not Marie, coming, maybe is this year your year? Are you in the running this year, Mary?
No, not this year. We've got some great awards that Silver Door is up for. So we'll be ready to stand and get excited about that. But yeah.
you know what? If people could, if this was the vote right here, though,
Yes.
I mean, as a write-in candidate, I think you'd have a good shot.
Yeah,
Well, you won
Here's what
corporate
it's like.
housing last year, didn't you?
we did. Yep. We're actually
Yeah.
going for the 2P this year. So we're hoping to go back-to-back championships.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And Jackson, you won an award as well.
Yes, last year I won Rising Star of the Year. Thank you, Suzie, for presenting it. I really appreciated that. And yeah, it was just a really good experience to actually, you know, get acknowledgement for someone so early in their career. I feel like as the youngest person at a lot of these events, it's always really hard trying to, you know, get that visibility. So just being able to be appreciated by the industry was very nice. So
Do you
guys.
feel a lot of pressure now, Jackson? Because there's really nowhere to go now at this point.
It's the Rising Star Award. It is current. It is not past tense. So we will continue to rise.
Yes, you can continue rising
Perpetually.
for some time.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. No, that's really cool, Jackson. And it's so cool because I feel like I've known you for forever in mobility years. So it's really cool to see, you know, you be recognized like that, and you've worked so hard in a short amount of time. So it's really cool to be recognized. And Claire, what's it like for you to kind of curate, you know, these awards and everything? What goes into it? Can you just kind of give us a glimpse into that, you know, the process?
Yes. Well, yes, and I'm hoping Suzie might tell you a little bit more about the judging process. But yes, it's months of work because obviously we launched the awards, the entries. I recruit the judges, so we have judges who come back and do this every year for us, and we're really grateful to them. But I also invite new judges every time because we want, you know, to mix things up. And then we get to the stage of the shortlist. I set the judges up on an online system. They can't see what one another decides, so they can't see anyone else's scores or comments. They get a confidential login. They treat everything in confidence, obviously. And I have to allocate categories to them. But obviously we avoid any conflicts of interest, things like that. Sometimes it's not always possible for me to anticipate that. But if there is something, judges will come back to me and say, I can't do this category, so I'll swap it out. So there's a lot that goes into it. And then the judges usually have about 2 weeks. They had far less time this year. I'm so sorry. But about 2 weeks to go through everything. And a lot of the judges, I think Suzie will tell you, will read things several times over and go back to it and, you know, maybe do their scoring offline and then put it on. It's quite a long, you know, it's quite an involved process.
Suzie, do you want to talk to us about a little bit about the process and what it's like to take 2 weeks of PTO to judge this?
If only, Ben. Yeah. So Claire, you used a word, curates, earlier when you asked Claire for a question, and I think the entire FEM experience really is a curated experience, from how she builds and curates the agenda up to and through the awards. She sends out an email. Geez, Claire, I think I got the email about 2 months, maybe 6 weeks before the actual judging occurred. Do you want to do it this year? These are the date parameters. This is the time commitment. So every year when I get that, I think this is the third year I judged, I stop and, Suzie, do you really have time for that? And then when you receive the link and go into your categories, I don't know what other judges do or feel, but I feel this like real obligation. We were joking before about who's won and who hasn't won. And, I have a part in that, in those categories that I'm judging. There's never been a case where I've been assigned a category that's not appropriate to me, so I can't speak to that. There's never been a case when I've had the privilege of judging my own category and might be shortlisted.
The results may have differed, right?
It might have been different. But you read through these nominations, you know that folks put a lot of time into how they build and structure. I know that, a lot of the vendor submissions are written by their internal proposal teams. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. There's often a number of documents that are attached. So you read the documents, and then you have to score. And it is really like almost blind batching, right? You put in your score in several different areas within each nomination. And I score, and then I read the next one and I go, oh my God, I didn't score the other one right, or I scored the other one too, whatever it is. And I go back and I readjust. And, it's hard in that you feel the burden and you also really want to be fair and balanced and appropriate. I will say I did it in 2 days, not 2 weeks. I hadn't opened it, and I got a very kind, gentle reminder email that I needed to get her done. So I did go in there and get her done. But yeah, it feels to me very well thought out, very meticulously planned, and I can't say it's a joy to do it because it is work, but it is an honor to do it.
Right. Well, we appreciate your contribution. Christian tuning in here, Vinny Valverde and I chatted about the judging when we met in person. We take it seriously, but it didn't take that long. So, okay. So only a couple of days of PTO. That's good. Yeah, this is great. Get in the comments, y'all. Check in with us here. Richard Majewski checking in from West London. We actually have a nomination. Claire, we have a nomination in the comments right now. I don't know. Is it too late to receive an Emma for the work that you put into all these events? Imagine this year Claire receives the Outstanding Contribution Award. I think people might be a little irritated.
Yes. I think it looks a bit strange.
But I'm co-hosting, so maybe I just give it to you. Maybe I just hijack the whole thing and I say, forget the nominees. We're just going to give it to Claire this year. Maybe that's what it is.
Well,
kidding.
William knows what it feels like.
Yeah, William. What was that like, William?
It is I will never forget the time you called me, Claire. I had just gotten off a red-eye flight and I was in an Uber on the East Coast. I don't recall where I was going, but I just come off a flight. So I was a little bit emotionally sensitive at the moment, having not slept on the overnight. And Claire called and shared the news with me. And of course, I sort of teared up because it's just one of those moments that it's unexpected and it's just such an honor. I've just been so privileged to be a part of the community here for many, many years. And I remember the speech and part of me wishes I can go back and do it all again, but it was such an incredible moment. It was all sort of a blur. I don't usually get such goosebumps when I go up on stage, but that was a moment where, I was full of goosebumps and full of butterflies. And I was really just, it's a moment I will never, ever forget. So Claire, thank you for the recognition. I second all of the nominations to award you with Outstanding Contribution as well. Or maybe we just create a separate award for all that you've done for the industry and all that FEM has contributed. I've had the privilege of attending many of the Emmas. Back at my time at Velocity, we had the privilege of winning a number of awards and many nominations. It's just a great event. It's a great time to celebrate the industry and celebrate each other and to dress up, whether it's old Hollywood or just, black tie, whatever it may be. It's always a fun event and it's a great conference. It's one of the, it's one of the conferences I always look forward to because it's a little more intimate. You get to spend a lot of time with almost everybody who's there. And it's just a great setting. So thanks, Claire, to you and the team. I know you guys work tirelessly to pull it off.
Thank you, William. That's really kind. I would just say, just to explain, the Outstanding Award is the only one where we give anyone notice that they've won, simply because they're allowed to give a speech. And I think it's only fair to let people prepare. I think the only person I didn't tell was Kathy Hine when she got it, because Michael Cadden and I wanted to conspire to surprise her. We thought she'd like that. And she rose to the occasion, of course. But it's lovely. It's one of the best parts of my job, delivering that news and then also presenting the award. I love doing it, but I quite often, I'm not nervous normally doing the summit or most of the Emmas, but it gets to that one and I often get quite shaky and my voice goes.
Why is that one different, Claire?
Because often I know it means a lot to the person and I want it to go well for them and I want them to enjoy the moment and I want to do the right thing for them because that one is my big responsibility. So yes, I know sometimes I really have to stop myself from getting emotional. It's very silly. But I think, I feel very strongly about all the awards, actually. I think they're all important. One that I did want to kind of highlight was the Rising Star Award, because I think it's a really, really, really important one. And if I had any gripe this year, excuse me, it would be
you
to
don't
say,
like the Rising Star this year, Claire? What's going on?
We only got two
Oh.
submissions. And I am denied, and I almost feel I wish I had now. At one point, I was going to post a rather cross post on LinkedIn saying 2 Rising Stars in the whole of the Americas, really? But I thought, no, I better not. But I've said it now anyway.
Well, Claire's officially mad, everyone.
Really important. And I know Suzie, one of the reasons I made sure Suzie presented the award to Jackson was because I knew she it would mean a lot to her to present it. And I think it can really make a difference to people's careers as well. I mean, I've seen it. So, but I think it's also important for the industry to think about encouraging that new, fresh talent. And I know everybody's really busy with their own things, but to just take a minute to think about how you might be able to help somebody along the way, I think is a, it's a great thing. It's love. I mean, Suzie, I think you would feel what you did to encourage Jackson along the way when he was at UTD and so on. I think that's it's a really important part of what we do as a community.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's my segment over.
Yes, I get to say that I knew Jackson way back when, and I got to see kind of a major milestone for him. And Jackson has noted that it was a major milestone for him, but it was for me too, to be able to deliver the award, and Claire, you gave that to me as a last minute gift. And to be honest, when I went up on stage to give it, I had a moment of emotion because it was so cool. Yes, it was a good moment for you, Jackson, I think. I hope. It was a career moment for me. It was a really cool career moment for me. So I think it's important. And Claire, I am terribly disappointed to hear that you only had 2 nominees this year.
Yeah, I know, but there's only so much you can do. Last year at the year before, at the EMEA Emmas, one of our judges actually got up on stage and complained to the audience because we only had 2 submissions that year, and then last year I think we had about 10. So that worked. So hopefully more next year.
Next year we'll come through for you, Claire. I can imagine next year you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of everybody's hearing you. Yeah.
Well, I think you kind of you identified the fact that the internal marketing proposal teams kind of work on these a lot of times, and sometimes they don't think about the individual awards. And so a lot of times our marketing departments kind of think about advancing the company brand and not necessarily advancing the individual's brand, even though it's such a relationship driven business and trust is so important. And kind of we buy from people and we have relationships with people. And oh my goodness, speaking of awards, we have Marie Butler joining us right now, possibly streaming live somewhere from the universe, maybe not. We'll see. There she is. Marie Butler. Hey, Marie. Sorry about the confusion there, Marie. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. Mary Corrales told me not to invite you. So I'm totally joking. I'm totally joking.
I think you're joking.
Something about breaking your kneecaps. I don't know. It was confusing.
Something about don't send the link. I don't know.
Yeah.
Too much exposure or whatever. Hey, Marie, it's good to have you here. Can you hear us? It's okay.
That's the look of someone who cannot hear us.
Hey, Jack, I want to ask you though, as we're kind of talking about the Rising Star real quick, do you feel like it did something for your career, or is it kind of too early to tell, or did you instantly go back and ask for a raise? How'd that go?
Well, I did not instantly ask for a raise, thank you. But I think it definitely makes it easier for me to distinguish myself at such a young stage in my career. I feel like a lot of people who are coming through that university pipeline are just trying to make a name for themselves. So having, just one that is, industry approved, I'll say, that really will make the difference, I think. And then being able to actually use that and implement, what I've been able to take away in my progress up to that point. I really have tried to, give back to the community and be a little philanthropic and go back to UT Dallas and help mentor some of those students who are in their global mobility club and who are going through their global business programs, because I know what it was like very recently. So being able to just help guide people and show them that, hey, this industry does exist. You know, there are a lot of opportunities that you just don't know about. To me, that's very fulfilling.
When you go into the UTD Global Business School, is it just instant standing ovation, or what does that usually like?
No, I didn't graduate last year, so most of the people I know have, phased through, but I am still on a lot of the UT Dallas marketing materials, so you'll see my face around the walls, but I don't have the face recognition.
Nice. Okay, well, anyway, that's awesome. Marie, how are you doing over there? Can you hear us, Marie? All right, that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's optional. It's fine.
Can I just make a comment on Jackson's growth in the industry? Jackson is and forgive me, Jackson, for putting words in your mouth or speculating here, but I think your success has been obviously you found a role that you were passionate about. You connected with people who were willing to help you grow and mentor you and really sort of coach you and you've embraced it. And so it's just a combination of loving what you do, but also having those mentors. And I know mentorship has been near and dear to all of our hearts. Obviously, ERC has launched a mentorship program. Some of the regionals have done mentorships. I think it's a key theme that we should all continue to exemplify, because it allows us to help folks like Jackson really start to grow into this career and start to make a massive difference, and hopefully excite you and encourage you to continue to build a long career in mobility, because as you said, it's a field that is probably not on a lot of radars. Most people we know in the industry did not grow up in mobility unless you were part of a moving company that your grandfather owned and you're still in moving. The majority of the folks we know in this space just kind of found it and fell into it and then ended up loving it. And so we need to have more programs like what has happened at UT Dallas, so that we can get more Jacksons, so that we can give out more Rising Star Awards. That's it. I'll get off my soapbox. I don't have any other solutions there other than to say I just think it's a great example of what happens when all of those things come together.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to echo that and really say that a lot of early career and university students, they just don't know global mobility even exists. So just giving them even a little exposure will create that university to line that I know Claire is so hungry for.
Yes. Well, I think also it's really nice that you've mentioned UTD, William, and Jackson, because I'd like to say thank you to Professor Hubert Zadorek, particularly for all the support that he's given us and continues to do so. Sadly, this year we couldn't do the case competition. It just didn't work in terms of the dates with students' exams and all that kind of stuff. But we really hope that they're going to come back again next year, because I always feel it's a very important part of what we do. But yes, I think, that link with universities is really, really, really important in that talent pipeline. So.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this in the office here, and, how we emphasize internships and work on that. And I do think it's improved. We talked about this. Has it improved or is it kind of the same? And I think it has improved. And actually, Jackson, you were one of the folks that we cited. There are more faces, kind of fresh out of college that have found their way into this industry and in important roles, and roles where they're actually making a difference and contributing. And so I think that's awesome. Christian says, completely agree. We need a university pipeline for our future industry leaders. But I'll say Christian, and I love Christian. We just hung out, a few weeks ago in LA. But it's like, you have to be the change that you want to see as well, right? We all have the ability and the opportunity to hire interns, right? And that's always the first step. So yeah. Hey, switching gears real quick and covering William's face. Christian says, hi from Orange County. I'm a judge this year, like in 2025. So I can't wait to hear more about the awards. I want to ask you, Claire, there's so many fantastic awards. Can you tell us what the categories are, and just so we can kind of get excited a little bit?
Oh no, I should have memorized them, shouldn't I?
But aren't there like 24 different
Yes, there are.
categories, which I didn't realize until I agreed to co-host this thing, that like
Yes,
24.
have you told everyone that you're
I
doing
haven't.
this?
I just
Oh,
I was
I
gonna
think
slip
it's
it in.
time
I was
to-
gonna slip it. I didn't want to like rub it in William's face because I know that it's sensitive.
That is a disappointment, Claire. I thought that you went from outstanding contributions in the industry to co-host, but apparently I was wrong. So that's cool. That's, well, hey, it's all good. You're not going to see my name on the registration list this year.
Wow. Yeah. So, okay. Well, I'll start there. I have the honor. I'm super excited. I actually did a video that I did in one take, which is obvious if you watch the video, that I got excited. I got the honor. Claire asked me to co-host the Emmas with her, and I've gotten to be in the audience for years watching this and just admiring this amazing awards show. And honestly, it's a real honor to actually go from doing some red carpet work and doing some other things kind of ancillary to now actually getting to join her at the dais and co-host the Emmas. So Claire, thank you so much for that.
And Claire, Ben is a solid second or third choice as a co-host. So just, well done. Yeah.
It'd be great to have someone who speaks fluent Texan. That would be good, really good.
Yeah. I'm here for you, Claire.
Yeah,
Howdy.
thank you. Because I know sometimes things get lost in translation. I talk about jolly good and things like that, and it's probably a bit quaint. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And
thank you, Andy.
yes. So yes, 24 categories, I'm afraid. But they're divided into corporate awards. So we have 4 of those. Then we have open to all, corporate or service provider, obviously. Don't ask me how many there are of those. Then service provider. And then we have the 3 individual awards. So Rising Star, Global Mobility Professional of the Year, which is the one where everybody can vote for their nominee. And then the Outstanding Contribution Award, which comes at the end. So yes, it's there's a lot, and we had a really good shortlist this year. We had a lot of entries, more entries this year than last year, in fact. So it's funny how it fluctuates from year to year. Sometimes I think last year we didn't have any entries in the corporate outstanding sort of crisis management or agility. This year we had, I think, 3 really strong ones. So I think it kind of reflects what's going on in the industry as well, or in the world. In the world, unfortunately, in some ways. But it keeps it fresh, and I think it's I love reading the entries. I don't judge, but I love reading them, and sometimes the results are a bit of a surprise to me. So it keeps me on my toes in a way. So yes, and it's great to see people really enjoy it. I always try to encourage whole teams to come up to the stage. Don't be shy and sort of come up, one at a time or something. We want everybody on stage and doing the woohoo and the waving and all that. Really go to town, because why not? Why wouldn't you?
I love those pictures when everyone's on stage, and then the end, right, when everybody comes on stage with their awards, and the awards are gorgeous too, by the way. They really are striking. And one of my favorite, I actually did a video, I think was it last year? It might have been 2 years ago, and William was in it with his award. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in it with his award, just beaming, center stage.
I keep it on my desk, Claire.
It's really striking, and you can see it from, and people have it in their backgrounds. You kind of notice the people that you notice I don't have any. Right. They put it right here. If I had one, I'd put it right here, probably. Anyway, maybe next year. And so
Rising Star co-host. Is there an award for Rising Star co-host? If so, Ben, you're up for it this year.
Yeah, maybe Sinking Star. Is that a thing? Maybe I can do that. We'll have a 25th category.
You got to practice all your poses, because you're going to be in everybody's picture after they get their little award and shaking their hand and doing the whole thing. You're going to have to think about how you're going to.
Gosh, there's a lot to consider. I hadn't thought about. But speaking of the crisis thing, Mary, I heard that you were actually up for one of those the crisis awards.
Yeah, so Silver Door is up for the Crisis Management and Agility Award, and I think that one probably means the most to us, because that is really a team award. and that goes from region to region to region. And it's a really important thing that people are starting to prepare for crises before they happen, because in the middle of one is maybe not the best time to do it, but sometimes people don't have the forethought to see what's going to come. So being able to assist people when they're going through their toughest time and finding them, places to live, triaging them to another country, really is just hits home for us and makes us feel like we're really doing something special. So that one is really, an honor to be up for.
Which crisis did you cause? I mean, solve.
Mary. Yeah.
Which...
So the solving and the.
I feel like crises are always happening.
We don't have enough time for that this hour. Yeah. But I would just say, for everybody, like, start planning for that stuff ahead of time. Get your CEOs and get everybody in the, who are going to make those decisions in the same place before a crisis happens, and walk through, maybe how you handled the last one or what decisions need to be made, because that's always the holdup, is that everyone has to get on the same page at every company internally. So the sooner you can do that stuff, the better, when you're not in the middle of a crisis. Yeah.
That's such good advice, because I was volunteering at my son's school on Monday, right? And they had a hazmat drill, right? Like a fire drill basically, but this one was hazmat for some reason. And they're like, okay, put, the blankets under the door and don't leave the room. And everyone knows the drill, but this is what we do, right? And we do this with our kids a lot. We drill these things a lot, but as professionals and as adults, we don't drill crisis like that. And it's so true, because when the stuff hits the fan, and it inevitably does, and we can't always plan how it's going to hit the fan, but it's always going to hit the fan somehow. And I just think there's so much merit to what you're saying about planning and practicing that.
Absolutely. I think a lot of those stories are really fascinating. We get things that, the crisis response to what's been going on in Ukraine or Middle East or, Latin America, all over the world, different kinds of situations. And it's so interesting to see how companies respond, and to hear those human stories really about, sometimes it's just a few things that have made a huge difference to somebody who's perhaps, a long way from home or stuck or away from their family or something. So yeah, again, I think it is really important.
In the end, it's a good reminder that it's people that we're moving, right? Yes. And it's people that we're really, right? So all the technology and all the support in the world is really great, but it sort of brings back the fact that at the other end is somebody who's, moving or away from their family. And that just really brings the human side to it. And it reminds us all why we got stuck in this place and why we're still here 20 something years later, right?
Hey, Claire, quick question. Do you ever find that the submissions, the award submissions, end up driving content for the next conference?
Oh yes.
I'm just thinking of some of the stories that Mary has shared.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I will also quite often invite people to do something like a mobility masterclass, and then I find they've entered the Emmas, or sometimes I've seen their entry and I think, oh, that would make a good session, but I invite them before I know what the result's going to be. So sometimes it ends up being somebody who wins that the category, and sometimes it's not always. It's it's not a deliberate sort of, okay, they're the winners thing. But yes, it definitely does, and it gives me. I'm afraid I shamelessly mine the Emmas for new speakers and things like that. So yes.
Suzie, I was going to ask you kind of similar question, but from a corporate perspective, do these stories, help you internally kind of relate the value of mobility as you're talking to stakeholders internally?
I think the stories that exist within FM are the stories that I share more broadly. I've started to use the phrase, how can I be on your mind, when I talk to business leaders within the company, to say, and what do you mean? And I say, well, if we need to move people because of a disaster, if you need to we're an insurance company, if you need to send a claims team in to mitigate a client disaster, if we're moving an office, if there's a new executive coming on board, if we are deciding to go into a new country, how do I ensure that I'm on your mind? And so it's become a real conversation. We had a very intense story last year where we had an employee visiting the US who had a medical a near catastrophic medical event while they were here. And we needed to get their spouse here to support them. And they were from a country where you couldn't just get on a plane and arrive at Logan Airport and happily enjoy your time in the US. So my vendor partner network, we were able to get the spouse here. We got her into an apartment, outfitted the apartment with food. She landed, or she checked in at 8:30 p.m. and was in her spouse's hospital room by noon the next day with trays of food. And when she arrived, that was what ended a 4-day hunger strike. The employee was just done with being in the hospital and completely miserable and making it worse by not eating. And I will say that the global mobility engagement that got her spouse, got her here, helped to save his life. And, you know, that's a story. And I can tell that story internally at FEM. Time. We provided housing, we provided food, we provided transport, ground and air, and we worked through the immigration. That's crisis management.
Sounds like an incredible submission you have there, Suzie.
Sure.
I think you just workshopped a winner there. You know, I'm not a judge, but I'm just saying, you know.
What a huge success. What a great story, Suzie.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, what Mary said, there are humans at the end of everything we do in this industry. And those of us that remember that we're touching humans, it's, you know, it's an incredibly rewarding field to be in, as our Rising Star of the Year 2025 will attest.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. As far as the program goes, you know, besides just the Emmas, Claire, because we've talked about the Emmas, and it is such a special evening. And I haven't decided, by the way, if it's the most glamorous evening in mobility, if it's the most, you know, I don't know what the superlative is that
What do you mean you haven't decided? Of course it is.
Well, but I mean, I know, well, no, but which superlative I want to use? I'm
Oh,
not,
I see.
I'm
Okay.
not,
I was going to say, what else could compare?
you're not shortlisted, Claire. I'm just trying to say, like, I don't know which superlative I want to use. Okay. Sheesh. No, but I mean, because but I don't want to sell short the thought leadership and the accomplishments, you know, and just make it about, you know, William's dress. I want to make it substantive, you know, if that's the right pronunciation. But I want to also talk about the actual, you know, FEM Americas Summit too, and the content as well, and kind of maybe ask you a little bit, you know, to preview for us a little bit, you know, what you're looking forward to most from a program standpoint.
Oh, that's always a really hard question to answer. There are too many things, really. I think it's interesting that a lot of the content is focusing on sort of crisis management again, and, you know, new regulations, tax, immigration, and so on, but in a really interesting way, and the way that changes the kind of talent prism and all that kind of stuff. We've got a great workshop that actually, it's a shame Marie isn't in the studio, because she's going to be delivering that with Sarah White from Wood and her colleague Ailey. And it's going to work as it's an extended workshop for everybody. It's going to work almost as a sort of debate. So we're going to provoke a lot of talk, I hope, and some great fresh ideas. We've got another session that's focusing on the Venezuela-US energy corridor and how you can navigate that. I'm really pleased to have some LATAM content. I think that's really important. We've got a mobility masterclass from Baker Hughes. Oh, look, there's Marie. Marie,
She heard you.
Your workshop. I was just singing.
We talked about her 3 times and she appeared. Marie, can you hear us? She's like, oh, you guys are still doing this? All right, I'm out. Okay.
Yeah. This audio connection for your laptop.
Oh,
So I thought this was the after party. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, we've got panel discussions and roundtables and workshops and masterclasses and, you know, lots of things. It's a pretty packed. We do work our delegates pretty hard. I think we make them use their brains somewhat, but hopefully people go away with something that's actually tangible that they can put into practice in their own program, or they can, you know, inspires them to do something, make some changes, or just to sort of think through some of the issues and possible solutions. I think the networking is really important as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Because again, you're exchanging ideas and experiences and so on, and that's, whilst presentations are really useful and important, and we do try to make sure that there's a nice balance through the day, it's also, you know, invaluable to be able to have those connections and see people face to face, meet new people, strengthen the bonds that you have with people you already know. So yeah, that I kind of like to step back and watch people just get together. I really love that part of it too.
I do too. And William, I mean, I remember, you know, last year, I think it was last year, we were sitting down in the lobby of the hotel after, you know, the whole thing was over.
We were
Just
indeed, man.
You,
Pretty
me,
late
and
night.
a couple other guys just hanging out and just talking about, you know, big ideas, you know, and stuff like that. And I just think that's,
yeah, the networking is one of my favorite parts of the event. And I think FEM does a really nice job of, you know, loading it full of content, but making sure that we've got significant time between the sessions to get out there in the common space and have a snack and actually connect for more than 10 or 15 minutes. You guys set aside these nice little blocks so that you're just not feeling exhausted by sitting in a conference room, you know, back to back to back. So kudos to you guys for figuring out sort of the nice balance there, Claire.
Well, hopefully, yes.
Yeah,
we have
and
a drinks reception on day one as well, which always helps.
Well, and Rob Zeitz, you know, he's having FOMO right now because he can't make it. And so I'm wondering who's going to do the poolside yoga now.
Oh, I know. Well, I did ask Krista, and unfortunately she can't do it this year. So she was really sad. So we'll have to gear up for it next year.
I thought we should just nominate a rising star, perhaps. He's been very philanthropic lately.
I'm not qualified to do yoga.
You think Rob Zeitz is qualified too? Come on, you just lean in, buddy.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Just lean in here. Oh, this is great. This is great. Let me ask you, Claire, I'm always curious, you know, and I know at the end you kind of look back at the conference and, you know, you have surveys and you ask people their opinions on things. What's the most highly rated session of the conference, you know, besides obviously the Emmas, which probably take the cake? What tends to get the best reviews from a conference standpoint?
Usually something that's interactive. That's why I always try to counsel people who are going to be presenting anything on stage to make the audience work somewhat, throw out some questions from the start, take people with you on the journey. So don't just tell them what you did. Ask them at key points. What would you do in this situation? How would you deal with this? Let's work through it. Those are the ones where we get the highest levels of satisfaction, definitely. So yes, that would be my tip.
So when we're co-hosting the Emma Awards, how are we going to do? So we're going to do a little bit of, you know, maybe some.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
She's already regretting this. You notice this? I love watching the regret manifest. Like in real time. It's one of my joys.
No.
There's some interactive yoga in the middle of that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's your department, Ben. Definitely.
I have a dead man's pose. That's all I have in my bag. Is dead man's. Well, Mary, you're the yogurt. I skipped lunch. I'm sorry. You're the yoga expert.
That's it. Just do a couple like breathing exercises, get everybody to stretch and get ready for they're going to be doing the stretch with their arm too. So you can, you know, work that out during the middle of the Emmas. Yeah.
Do you do yoga too then, Mary?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. We could have.
How many days in a row have you done, Mary?
You know, so I've been practicing for probably like 10 or 11 years, but right after COVID, I started doing like a daily practice. So I don't have to think about, is today the day that I do it or how many days a week I do it? So I just do it every day, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm not. If I haven't gone to sleep, that counts as a day for me. And I think I'm on 1,500 or something days in a row. And it just is took it from it's just, you know, and my husband can tell when I haven't done it, and he'll be like, oh, you're a little angry. Like, have you done your yoga yet today? And I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go. Give me a minute. I'll do it now. Yeah.
Wow. That's so
awesome.
impressive. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. You know, I can't tell you how excited I am. You know, and Houston is going to be a great city for it too. What an international city. You know, I've been spoiled the last couple of years having it here in Dallas, Claire. You're going to make me commute for this one, but you know, nonetheless, I'm extremely excited about it. What made you choose Houston as the host city?
Well, really, I suppose because we got such a strong chapter in Houston, and at FEM when I first joined. Goodness, maybe I won't say when it was 2016. We used to do a spring one-day conference in Houston, mainly for the oil and gas industry. And then I think COVID hit, and we then introduced our European conference in Amsterdam, so it took its place. But I just felt it would be good to kind of broaden things out, get some new faces to come along. And I'm hoping that, you know, people who've come to see us in Dallas will also make the journey to Houston. I know it's not just down the road, but I am hopeful. I've really loved doing the event in Dallas the last few years, especially, you know, the links with the university and the Warwick Melrose was such a lovely venue. The staff were great.
Beautiful.
Just, you know, so nice. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wrench in a way, and I'm kind of missing Dallas, and you know, I keep reminding myself, oh no, we won't see, you know, the people at the hotel and all that stuff. But I think this will be really interesting too, and it's lovely to sort of have some completely new faces to come and speak and so on. So yeah, I think it'll be good. Again, the lovely Doris was most insistent that we should come to Houston. And
yeah, I think it's a great choice.
Doris a lot. She's very wise. So
well, it's a great choice, and it's very timely. I think Houston, you know, Houston is always such an important city, especially, you know, from an oil and gas perspective, which seems to be very topical right now, obviously. And you know, it's at the fabulous JW Marriott.
Yes, which we haven't actually visited yet. So I hope it is going to be fabulous. I think it will.
Well, I think that's a hotel you can pretty much count on. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. They'll leave the light on for you there at the JW. Yeah.
No, John, who's our event manager there, has been fantastic so far. So yes, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
William, you excited about the JW Marriott? You feel
they're always
can handle us?
Fantastic venues. I am still not certain if I will be there, Claire. I'm going to do my best. I've got some travel over the next few weeks, and I'm just trying to make some changes. I do love the FEM and the Emmas, and you know, I've been known to fly in on a red eye and do my shtick, and then fly out 3 hours later.
I know.
You know,
I'm
remember 2 years ago?
For you for that. Yes.
Hopefully, that's not the case this year, but
yeah, I do too. Oh.
People are going crazy in the comments for it. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know how excited you are, what you're excited for. Look at that. Jenna Giordano says, first time in Houston, looking forward to seeing everyone. Yeah, Houston's a great city. I mean, as much as I like to rag on Houston, because Dallas and Houston have a little bit of a rivalry, you know, Houston's a phenomenal city. Houstonians missed the annual spring conference. Claire, bring it back. We'll support it. Oh, interesting. That's Holly Holmes there. What's up, Holly?
Houston has a fantastic mobility community. I was at a round table there a couple months ago, and it was just a great event, great folks, really engaged community, super passionate about our work. So I think you've picked a good city there.
Yeah.
Dallas is equally lovely. We love the folks in Dallas.
Yeah.
But I think this will be a good choice this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, we've, Ray Dymart from KPMG runs our Houston chapter, and she does a fabulous job. Just amazing. She's such a dynamo. But we're announcing at the summit, we've got a Dallas chapter starting up again, about time. So that will be really good too. So the two new co-leads will be at the summit. On day 2, we're going to have some of our chapter leads there to talk about their plans for the coming year. We've got the lead from our Chile chapter. So we've got a very new one there.
Chile, like the stew? Or like the country, because we're in Texas.
Yeah,
I only speak Texan. I don't. Okay.
Yeah, Chile and hopefully Mexico
Wow.
as well. So yes, it's really exciting, I think. So we need
That's
a West
fantastic.
Coast one now, William, please.
We'll
We
support
do.
it.
You're right. That's
We'll
right. No
support it.
pressure,
If
huh?
there's anybody who can get it started, it's William.
Yeah, I know.
The mayor. Come
All
on.
right,
William.
let's talk, Claire. Let's
Oh,
talk.
yes, please.
So, you know, I'm
Okay.
thinking of it. I'm thinking of a number. It's got a lot of zeros behind. We can talk. We'll talk. My people will call your people. All
It's
good.
got a lot of zeros in front of it. That's what it's got.
It's just all zeros.
It's just all zeros. Oh, this is great. This is fantastic. Claire, real quick, you talk about the chapters and everything. Tell us a little bit, just real quick, what goes into, you know, a FEM chapter. If somebody's watching right now and they're like, hey, we need a chapter in our city, what goes into that?
Well, I'm getting
We're
to be a
pitching
bit of a
William right now.
stuck record, but my vision for the chapters is really, I want people to think of them as their kind of global mobility club. So it's a kind of inclusive but also exclusive club, somewhere where they can go meet friends, colleagues, peers, meet new people, chat about things that are really interesting and current to them. The beauty of the chapters, I think, is that they're run by chapter leads who live and work in those locations, so they really know what's going on in that spot. We support them from the UK with all the kind of, you know, the logistics, but they decide on the topics, they invite the speakers, and because they can, as long as they give us enough notice, we get minimum of 6 weeks notice, they can arrange a meeting in response to something that's happening like that, you know. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really valuable, particularly when there are things that are quite difficult for the industry to deal with, you know, changes and so on. You can get together and try to find some solutions. And then I think also that they mustn't be a sales kind of pitch, but they are a good place for networking as well, and for kind of forging those connections over time at regular touch points. So some of our chapters, I mean, the New York one that Kathy Hine runs is amazing. She does probably four meetings a year. Wow. But again, they can vary in terms of format and formality. So her meeting that she does at the end in December every year is always a Christmas party. It doesn't have to do anything formal. But right. Everybody loves to go to it, and that's, you know, so it really does become like a quite a tight-knit little community. But because there's a global network behind it as well, we can feed into, you know, all kinds of new ideas and so on into it. And I think it's just, yeah, it's a really great part of what we do, I think. And I think it's very, to me, it's always been very important to FEM. When we were with a previous parent company long time ago, and they wanted to close the chapters. They couldn't understand what the point of them was. And I had a real battle over it. But I'm really glad that we, you know, persevered with that, because I think it's really important, and they're growing amazingly now. So yeah,
we like to get together, you know, our type of folks, we like to get together for sure. Yeah, this is great, and I'm so excited, and the momentum's tremendous. The last few I've been to have just been each better than the last, and I'm sure that this venue is going to be spectacular. I'm really looking forward to the theme. I want to give everybody maybe just an opportunity to just kind of share a final thought, you know, and get in the comments as well if you have a question or you want to chime in. Let us know just who you are. But I'm going to save you for last, Claire. But I just want to kind of go around the horn and ask everyone just for maybe a final thought about the EMMAs and the FEM. Mary, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I think, you know, I said before, I think it's just an honor to be nominated. So to the judges that have to go, they look through all of the stories and, you know, get the pleasure of reading about everything. Good luck to you, because it sounds like there's a lot of really good things, you know, kind of going on. So we know you have a very, very hard job. But I loved what Claire said about making sure that we're thinking about the next generation, and to only have, you know, 2 nominations. We won't let you down next year, Claire, right? I can see you're going to have hundreds and hundreds coming in. because there really are so many great folks that are coming up that really need the support. And, you know, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have a great mentor that supported me, right? All of us had people who helped us along the way. So it was a great reminder, Claire, to just be that person to, you know, help find the Jacksons, you know, within your organization and help, you know, rise them up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Suzie?
A couple of comments. One is Jackson is one of a kind. So there may be other young rising stars, but there's, I don't think, another Jackson. Commenting more about the conference itself, in the earlier days, I used to go just, you know, when I worked in the vendor in an RMC role, I would go for the EMAs. And as I shifted into the corporate role, I would go for the conference. And I've shared this feedback with Claire previously. What I appreciate about the conference is what I said earlier, that it is a very curated agenda. Claire's got her hand in every session. Other organizations, they'll have different subcommittees and groups that pull together sessions, so there isn't any real cohesion from one to the next. But in this case, you feel like you've got some topics and you build on them and you continue to explore them for the 2 days that we're together. So it feels more like a high quality learning experience than some of the others. And then, you know, for the EMAs, I am always the girl that's like, I'm not going to wear the costumes. I'm not going to dress in theme, but I do really have fun. And some of our well-known industry players that really get into it, it's infectious. And so it's cool to be able to see different organizations get recognized for good work and different individuals get recognized for their contribution. But it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Love it. Jackson?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say good luck to everyone who's nominated for the Emmas, first of all. But I think a big takeaway I have every single time is that I've been to FEM is figure out a way to utilize the content and what you've learned in your organizations. And every single time I've gone, I've implemented something new or at least tried out some ideas. And I really do think that you have to make the most of the experience and it follows through after the event, not just at the end of the day. So.
Yeah. Love it. And Jackson, I'm surprised your head can fit in that square right now at this point. Everyone's just been blowing you up so much. Francisco Solis says, I want to be like Jackson when I grow up. Yeah, don't we all, Francisco? Don't we all? Look at that hair. Don't we all? William, would you like to share a final thought?
I would just say if anybody's on the fence, you know, get out to the FEM conference. It's just a really nice, intimate, I keep using that term because it's a few hundred folks who are really dedicated to being there and dedicated to our community. And then, of course, the Emmas is just a nice chance to celebrate. There's a lot of folks in this industry who compete for the same business, but seeing your friends and then celebrating their wins is just really a fun opportunity. It's a fun evening. And I think that's one of the things we all love about this industry is, yeah, even though you may compete with that person sitting right next to you, you still celebrate it when they win, and they do the same for you. So get out, enjoy the event, and Claire, again, just congrats on all the success that you've had with FEM, the various chapters, and we've thought about firing up a chapter in the Bay Area, so we'll have to keep kicking that idea around. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's very encouraging. Thank you.
Yeah. And Rob Zeitz echoes that. Says seeing the smiles on people's faces at the Emmas is such a rewarding experience, not just the winners, everyone coming together and realizing how much global mobility professionals accomplish each year. It's worth enduring, Ben, as a host. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate the heartfelt sentiments. Really nice, you know, free speech, everyone. Claire, would you like to, you know, wrap it up for us? Final thought.
Well, very quickly, I mean, just to say, it's lovely to see everyone here, and thank you so much for all that you do for the community and for FEM too. That I really do appreciate that from everyone, all our judges, our speakers. People work really hard to put together these presentations and the entries, I know. So, you know, we never take that lightly. And it's always full of great surprises. I love that. So I want to say thank you to everyone for all the hard work that they put in to make the conference and make the Emmas what it is too. And I just hope people will come along, as you say, come and learn, share your experiences, make some new connections and have a good time. just really enjoy celebrating everything that you do because you deserve it.
Well, it sure is going to be a celebration, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy themselves. I've never seen anyone not enjoy themselves. It's a fantastic event. Can't wait to see everyone there May 12th and the 13th in Houston at the JW Marriott. You're going to see all these amazing people and more. I can't wait to see you there. And again, I have the honor of co-hosting with the illustrious Claire Tennant-Scull. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ben. It's been lovely.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Mary, Suzie, William, Jackson. Take care. And thanks, everybody. And we'll see you in Houston.
See y'all. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.